Welcome to No Smoke TV. Today we have investment banker, money manager, Daby Carreras in the building. He's running for Comptroller of New York City. How you doing today, my brother?
I'm doing excellent. Daby Carreras, New York City Comptroller. I'm right here, right in front of my building in East Harlem, 123rd and Lex.
123rd.
Stay out today, so yeah.
It don't get no realer than that. He's right in the midst of New York City. And he looks like he's in front of this building right now too.
I'm directly in front of here. I'll just pan around so you can see the neighborhood. Maybe it might be a little bit blurry, but you can see the neighborhood. This is 123rd Lex. A little quiet today. I can say it wasn't too quiet on Memorial Day. On Memorial Day, I was in my room, and there was a lot of ruckus around. And I hear like 4 shots, and then I look out the window and I see a 15-year-old boy dead on Memorial Day, right here, right in front of my window.
15 years old?
15 years old.
Yeah, I was a baby.
Yeah, Amir James, yeah. On Memorial. James? Yeah.
I think I saw that in the news. I think I saw something with that in the news.
You definitely, there was about 6 or 12 shootings throughout the city. I think that day it was a lot, or maybe 6 got killed and there's 12 shootings or so. But this boy was shot dead. And I believe he was protecting his sister because there was a lot of differences between the 2 different gangs that are running around the area, between the Mara Sabatucha, the Miles, the Bloods, and people are running around the area. So it was kind of dangerous. And it's sad to have, a 15-year-old killed like right out your window. I mean, like 25 feet from your window, 30 feet from your window. That's
ridiculous. And you feel comfortable living there?
I've been here for many years. I mean,
okay. You grew up there.
I've had guns pointed at me before. I mean, nothing feels like having a gun pointed at you. You know, your entire life slows down. You hear everything. Fortunately, this didn't happen to me, but I've had it many times in the past. And it's not a good thing. That's one of the reasons why we really have to educate people and expose the truth so people are not under misunderstanding and going to violence when they don't know what's going on. That's really important.
So this comes up to my first question. You growing up, your background, your area, what makes you get into politics?
Well, I didn't do this to become a politician. I did this because I care about my city. I care about people. I mean, for a long time, I've been, caring about the most vulnerable, because that's really how you could judge life. How you judge life and how you respect life is how you judge people who respect life and judge that. And if you don't care about respect for life, respect for the Constitution, more personal responsibility and less government, we live in a society that just pushes everyone in the exact same bowl and nothing ever gets achieved. So it's all about fixing the problems and putting the blame where the blame is due.
Exactly. But when is that going to finally happen?
Well, it's about educating people and saying the message as much as possible, like I'm doing here with yourself, George. I mean,
you're exactly right.
Today I was at a championship basketball game for 17-year-olds and under, youths. And it was great because they're all great champions. They're all great athletes. And a lot of people said, hey, Mr. Comptroller, what's going on with this? And a lot of people thought that I was the comptroller already. And I had to explain to people that the problem is the people who are elected right now, those progressives, they're actually regressive by nature. They haven't gotten these issues solved. What they do is keep on spending money and showing money, but they never actually saturate and fix the issue. Because if they fix the issue, what need would they be there anymore? They give money, then they fix the issue, they leave. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Instead, they keep the issue consistently lingering, so there's always a need for them. And that's a disgusting kind of management mentality instead of a representative mentality.
And that's going around a lot. A lot of people are moving like that.
Precisely. It's disgusting. It's very insidious because you grow to a certain respect. Let's say you're a Democrat or you're a Republican or an independent, but the person who's in charge there, the person who's elected there, 9 times out of 10, who am I kidding? 99 out of 100, not even 9 times out of 10, 99 out of 100, they're more in New York, they're going to be a Democrat. More than likely, they're not a Democrat. They're more than likely a progressive Democrat or a Democratic Socialist, what they call it now. But it's a progressive. And that progressive their answer is never complete the task at hand. But yet, people keep on thinking that they're just there for helping because they see all the great things in the messaging. They're great at marketing, but they're never implementation and never executing these plans. You got to put the blame where the blame is due. They have all the blame. So I was speaking to a nice woman about it. I actually just posted it on my Instagram story just momentarily ago. And I answered it, the entire question about the link system and then the voucher system, all these things don't work. And I said, please look at my please look at my Twitter. My Twitter post that I did maybe 4 years ago, 2017, really explained a lot. And it's a quick, 10, 13-minute video. So it's about consistently bringing the answer and consistently pointing to the answer. And then people have to just realize that, keep on doing the exact same thing and getting the exact same results is not going to solve anything. You're just going to get more and more frustrated until you say, I'm not going to vote anymore. And that's what's been happening so many times. Yet people blame the other side when they don't get it. They're incorrect. It's actually the side they're voting for who's not doing the things. You got to hold the screws of the people in fire. If you don't do that, then you ever figured out the answer.
And that's true. And that's what you go bring to the table if you get the...
That's what it's about. I'm about accountability. If I didn't do my job in Wall Street, you think someone's going to keep me there as their money manager? If I'm losing the money consistently? No, of course not. But yet, we keep these politicians in there consistently, and they consistently lose us money. But yet, we keep on keeping them and keep on keeping them. Why? Why?
Because we use them. It's like...
You're told that the Republicans are wrong. Because we're sold that the Republicans are wrong, and we never give it an opportunity to actually hear them out and understand their entire policies about answering.
You're right, but let me break something down. Republicans to the people are known for always going for like the upper class, big businesses, giving tax breaks to the
East Harlem.
I know. I'm just saying what the people see. They see that the Democrats is for the
The marketing. They market it really, really well. They're excellent marketers, but they do not do anything for people. If they did, then we would never have these issues. But yet, that disconnect happens every single time. Why do we have these issues? Oh, it's somebody who's not elected is causing that issue. Somebody who's not in power is causing that issue. Does that make any sense? No, that does not make any sense. Do you go and blame the pizza man when you go order McDonald's and your McDonald's food is wrong? No, you don't. You blame the person who actually brought you the food, or you bought the food from, or you voted for. You blame that person. You got to put the blame where the blame is due. And people refuse to do that. Why? Because they either they want to be a victim or they just don't know. And I'm not allowing people to be victims. I'm making sure that that is absolutely known and exposing these truths.
So since you're playing the blame game, are you willing to blame your fellow Republicans as well?
For what? I mean,
for any error that's caused, are you willing to hold your own party accountable when stuff is going wrong?
So in New York, there's 51 city council members. You know how many are Republican?
How many?
I'll give you a guess. Just take a guess.
I'll say about 25, 30.
Way less.
10?
3.
Wow.
51 and 3 are Republicans. And 2 of them live in Staten Island.
I had no idea. I didn't know that.
Who are we blaming? Are we blaming the right people? We're not. See, how many people, what Republican is elected in Manhattan? 0. What Republican is elected in the Bronx? 0. There's 1 in Queens, 2 in Staten Island, 0 Brooklyn.
Understandable. Probably it's because of the presidential candidates we had in the past.
Well, guess what? We're a sanctuary city. So there is nothing that their President Trump, could even do in Manhattan.
And
because we're a sanctuary city. So the city runs itself. It's the reason why we were not getting money from even the state. They separated us. So there was no Republican doing anything whatsoever in any of these issues that's going on, specifically facing people who are through the city, which is 10 million people. That's ridiculous that we're blaming 3 people, 2 on Staten Island, 1 in Queens, for all the issues going on in New York, when 51 elected city council members, of which only 3 were Republican. Of the borough presidents, all 5 were Democrats. The public advocate Democrat, the comptroller Democrat, the mayor Democrat. Every single one is a progressive Democrat. Yet, we blame Republicans who are not in power. We're blaming Republicans who are not in power because they're not in power? That makes sense. We should blame them for not being in power because they didn't do the problem. We should say, Republicans, it's your fault because you're not in power. You should be in power. That's the problem. You're thinking there's 25 Republicans who are running things. There's not. There are 3. And we're a sanctuary city, which means that the federal government couldn't even get involved into the city, couldn't even get involved in the state. We're blaming the wrong person. We're yelling at the wall when the wall is not there for us. It's not there. We're yelling at the Democrats who do nothing for us, who are in power, who are taking all of our money. It's a reason why the governor, the progressive Democrat governor, was removed. Because why? He was obviously doing things that are wrong. And he didn't even get blamed for the big thing he was wrong, which was killing an additional 12,000 people, which brought it to about 55,400 people in nursing homes when he co-located that, when the president actually created the biggest in Guinness Book of World Records hospital in the fastest time at the Javits Center, as well as 2 shifts to separate people so we can keep the sick from the healthy. Instead, the Democratic progressive idea was to put everybody in the exact same boat and treat everybody the exact same way and make everybody spoiled and horrible. Now we have this huge pandemic getting faster and faster and bigger. When have you ever not separated the sick from the healthy? That's what we're doing here. We're not separating the sick from the healthy. We're keeping all together. And then we're saying, why is it not working? But we're never putting the blame where the blame is due. It's the progressives cause people to leave the city because they want complete control. But yet we're not calling them out on it.
Yeah, but the things we see, you saying the president, Donald Trump, the president that was just in the office, he was not for the people though. Like he was
wrong.
We saw through his
was he created the CARES Act that people got a check, the PPP loan, the EDLI. All this money came from the president because what he did, he utilized the entire 5th and 6th Amendment and 4th, even, well, not really the 4th, but the 5th and 6th Amendment, indemnified people. What happened during Barack Obama's term? He bailed out all the businesses. What did Donald Trump do? He bailed out all the people.
So why first when Donald Trump came into office, the first thing he wanted to do was get rid of Obamacare? I don't understand that.
Correct, because Obamacare said that you now have to do business with every single person. You have to do business with the government. Now, guess what? It has caused people to now have forced vaccinations. Why? Because now the government's saying you have to do business with us. Why do you have to do business with somebody? Do you have to do business? Do I guarantee that I take your business? If a person was a plumber, if a person was a doctor, if my toilet is overflowing and that person's a plumber, I'm gonna say, hey, you're a plumber? You gotta come up here and fix my toilet. I don't care what you're doing, but you gotta fix my toilet because you're a plumber. Hey, you're a doctor? You gotta go fix me because I'm sick. You're a doctor. I don't care what you gotta do. You gotta go fix me. Does that make any sense? No. But that's what we're saying.
That's only for the citizens that don't have insurance, though.
You gotta understand, though. People who have insurance, people who don't have insurance, they're still paying for these things because of the Commerce Clause. We are forcing people to do business. And that business is shitty business because it doesn't help people.
And Trump didn't have shitty business trying to invest. How much money he trying to invest in that wall, the pointless wall? How much money he trying to invest in that?
So the wall had about $11 billion and it wasn't completed on the last part. Why? Because the opposition had stopped it. And now look what's happening. We're having a lot of people coming through the borders. If we cared about coronavirus, Why are we not stopping the border from people coming in with coronavirus? That is Mr. Joe Biden. Believe me, when you look at the actual things, instead of just listening to what the TV is telling you and actually read what's actually happening, you will see that the marketing of the Democrats is phenomenal. They have you believing every single thing in the boogeyman.
And the same thing with Republicans too.
Where have the Republicans down?
That's the thing. You say you got to place the blame game where it goes. Trump
and
messed up.
100% on Obama, who created this Obamacare, who forced grandmas and grandpas to pay for menstrual programs and birth control when they're 90 years old. Does that make any sense?
No, that don't make sense.
Does it make sense for you to pay for a grandma in Nevada if you don't live in Nevada for her health insurance?
No, and it don't make sense. It don't make sense for me to pay for a wall that has nothing to do with me.
But that's precisely what happened. They force you to do business with people in the government when you had no need to do business. Do you have to, again, I got to explain it again. If a plumber was sitting here and my toilet was running, do I have the right to say, hey, you're a plumber, get upstairs right now and fix my toilet? Do I have a right to say that? No, I don't. But that's what we did with doctors. Hey, you're a doctor, get upstairs and fix my health care.
Nah, you're 100% right. But I did think it was perfect for people that couldn't afford healthcare. They didn't have healthcare.
People, you know what's perfect for people? People to actually get the cost to be right, because success always puts a proper price in its goods. When you force a whole lot of people to get a little bit for somebody, guess what? You're not helping anybody, because you make everything horrible. The entire thing gets weaker and depleted and diluted. And what happens? We get nothing. Believe me. It happens in every other country we see. And now we're making the United States be the exact same thing. When you put everybody in the exact same bucket, what do you get? You don't get anything that's good for people. You get forced mandates. That's what you're getting. Do you want to get, I want you to understand, the mask was a placeholder for the jab. The jab. The jab is a placeholder for digital ID. So the government can tell you what to do, when they want you to do it, and whenever they want to do it. That's called slavery, my man. And that's what they're pushing you into. They're pushing you into slavery. The best way to push you into slavery is to say somebody else is the abuser. I'm the good guy. Someone else is the abuser. Yet we put everyone in the exact same bucket and make everyone's life less until it gets to a de minimis point where we realize, wait a second, it wasn't like this before. Believe me, the marketing, I guarantee you watch a lot of television because you're still being told the media. It's not news. It's not news. It's the media. Here's the thing. During President Obama's term, he actually really changed how the media can work with these propaganda, which propaganda is one-sided information. It's either true information or it's false information. Propaganda is just one-sided information. It could be true. It could be false. All of it is propaganda. Again, what he did was he really beefed up Section 230 and allowed these companies to say anything they want and explode that message because it's very profitable for them, regardless if it was true or not. And guess what? So many people bought it hook, line, and sinker, and never questioned or read the documents. Like yourself, I'm sorry to say, but you still have to understand, you're believing that there's 25 elected people who are Republicans when there's not even 5.
Nah, you're 100%. You're breaking it down with the medical. I understand that. The way you broke it down.
Sanctuary cities. We have no control. The federal government couldn't get into the state government, who couldn't get into the city government. You can't blame the federal government when they can't get into the state and they can't get in the city. They have no control in the city. The mayor is doing this entire thing. They had it's a sanctuary city. That means there's no Republicans from the federal side. President Trump couldn't do anything in here. Couldn't.
See, but this is what the people want to see.
They need to understand that. I'm exposing it to you and to everybody else who's watching this video next.
Nah, you're breaking it down lovely, man. You're breaking it down lovely.
Sanctuary cities have caused people to leave the city in droves because it's pushing business away. It's pushing business out. It destroys families. Families grow up, businesses go up. If families are separated, businesses go down. People leave.
You got it. But one thing I don't agree with you.
Socialist policies.
One thing I don't agree, though, is with Trump with that wall. I don't agree with that. And I don't think you should agree with it either.
So the wall, I want you to realize, guess how many border states there are? 50 border states. Every single state is a border state. Every single solitary state is a border state because you can just fly right in.
You think that wall is going to stop people? You think that wall is going to stop people?
The wall stopped drugs going through, people walking through right now. Look, that's what happened. Now people are going through right now every single day. The border, they're just going through every single day. Is it stopping anybody? Because they stopped the wall. When you stop the wall, you can't blame the person who was building the wall that it got stopped. But you got to blame the people who stopped it.
Okay, the wall, but you go put the citizens in debt for like a long period of time. How much he said we have to pay back in taxes?
So, owe the money to ourselves, our own pension companies, insurance companies. The money is not owed to China or some other place. It's owed to ourselves, our own insurance companies, our own pension companies. If the debt was a pizza pie, okay? If the debt was a pizza pie, China wouldn't even own 1/2 of one slice of that pizza of our debt. They wouldn't even own 1/2 of one slice of that pizza pie. And I'm talking about an 8-slice pizza. And I'm kind of hungry, but I'm going to tell you, an 8-slice pizza, they wouldn't even have 1/2 of one slice. We owe it to ourselves. We're paying back ourselves with cheaper bills. And what are we doing? We're blaming somebody else because we're never reading what actually is happening. Instead, we're just talking and watching the TV, believing the TV every single day. It's not the truth. That's not how business works. Business gets the documents. We read the documents. We see exactly what's going on. We don't pretend. We don't play games. We don't point fingers at people who didn't do it. We don't blame the pizza man when the Taco Bell man messed up the order.
I get it. But can we switch to a different topic? I want to get off the presidents. I want to get back on you.
100%. I'm here. I'm going to be the next comptroller in New York City.
That's why I want to get talking.
I'm going to be the next comptroller for New York City. I'm going to fix this. And the easiest way to fix it is actually this. There's a stimulus that's getting created right now because President Trump brought the relief, but the relief is only halfway there. That's the CARES Act, Coronavirus Relief and Economic Security Act, CARES, Coronavirus Relief. The R is relief. The next part is stimulus. So that's Joe Biden who's supposed to bring the stimulus. Guess what? He ain't bringing any money to New York. New York is getting $16 billion. We spend $20 billion a year. That means we're not going to be funded properly. And guess who we're going to blame? We would blame the boogeyman again because we didn't get the money. But it's Joe Biden who did it. So guess what I'm going to do as comptroller? I'm going to go in Robin Hood the $3.5 trillion. It might be $5 trillion by that time. I don't know. It could be even more. Who knows? Because they're just tacking that money up. It doesn't matter because the sanctuary cities, like I said before, are going to protect me from actually Robin Hooding. I mean, look, I'm from the hood. I'm going to Robin Hood that money and bring it right here to the city because Joe Biden is not giving any money to New York. We're getting $16 billion from FEMA and Sandy, and that's it. That's all we're getting. Some of the money we already got already, but we're not getting any more money than that just to fix the neighborhood.
Can you explain to the people what a comptroller is? What's their job?
Say again?
Can you? Oh, yeah, the police. Can you explain?
No, just an ambulance.
Oh, can you explain to the people that don't?
All the time.
They're around there all the time. I was gonna say, can you explain to the people what exactly does a comptroller do?
The job for the comptroller should be being. This is what they should do, and this is what I'm going to do because I'm an investment banker, and what I do is I bring money into systems. Our current comptroller has been pushing money and business out of our city. That's what he's doing. As a broker, I'm bringing money into the system, as well as managing these dollars, not people, but managing dollars for the 340,000 people who are currently working for the city, for all the pension companies, for all the insurance companies. So people can actually keep on building a life and actually have a retirement. Instead, they're underfunding the money so they can borrow against it and increase the budget and never fix the problem. We never hold them to accountability. They've been running us to generational curses and we blame the wrong person. every single time you wonder why something is not happening, it's probably because a progressive is there who has no interest in fixing the issue.
So how you planning
if
on?
they fix the issue, they wouldn't get elected again, is how they feel. That's what they think.
How you planning on fixing the issue?
I'm going to fix the issue by getting money to people instead of pretending that he's getting to people.
How you going to do that, though? How you going to get the money? Where you going to get the money from?
Like I said, I'm going to go and take the $3.5 trillion that is going to be produced from the stimulus and take it into the city because it's not being given to us in the city. They already believe that we have all the money that we need. Joe Biden, Governor Cuomo, past Governor Cuomo, now Governor Kathy Hochul. All these people are not giving us any more than $16 billion. That's not going to run our city. I'm going to have to fix it. We lost tremendous amount of population, tremendous amount of business, tremendous amount of life. No efficiencies. Look at our subway when it rained and flooded. It flooded out. What happened? Why? Because they're not fixing the issue. They think we're stupid. And you know what? They might be right. Because we keep on voting for them and nothing changes. Why? Because maybe we don't tell the story. I have the hard job to beat the marketing because you're going to watch television tomorrow and you're going to believe everything they say because they sound good and they have a great TV show. And they're going to lie to you because they're allowed to lie because propaganda is one-sided information. It's either false information or true information, both of which is propaganda. And they're legally able to do that to you because it's the media. It's not the news. Section 230 has to be completely removed. I want you to understand it's corporate welfare. Who gets wealthy? The biggest businesses get wealthy. And then we blame everybody because guess what they do? They say, hey, like with these mandates. Now, we all believe that the government is making us do this. Well, guess what? The government has mandates, but who's actually enforcing those mandates? Businesses are enforcing those mandates. So when the businesses go under, we're going to say, well, the businesses are too greedy. Oh, the businesses are fault. It's not the businesses' fault. It was the government who made the businesses do these things. And then we say, oh, these businesses are so greedy. They're the 1%. Everything is messed up. That's stupid. It's us who is consistently dropping the ball. We're dropping the ball every single time. We're not blaming the people who are there because we feel like these Democrats, I shouldn't say Democrats. They're not Democrats. They're progressives. The progressives, the social Democrats, the AOCs, the Bernie Sanders, the Brad Landers, these people, the Brian Benjamin, the Governor Cuomo's, these people are the ones who are abusing us, yet we don't even let them have any. We love them because they have great TV shows. They have great marketing, and we never pay attention. We never read. We just watch a TV and talk, and that's the problem. I have to expose it to you, even if I hit you over the head with a bat to understand it and wrap it around your head so you can understand the people who are. That's what they're. But yet we don't blame them for it because we don't see it because the TV tells us it's the boogeyman out there who did it. The orange man bad, but yet the orange man actually alleviated poverty for the first time in my lifetime. Poverty went down. I can't give you the orange man because all I'm about is statistics. I'm from Wall Street. If I was wrong, clients would fire me. Again, I'm managing millions of dollars for people. The statistics mean everything. The numbers are real. When you're not reading the real numbers and you're just listening to what someone talks to you on the television, you're being lied to. It's called propaganda. So and it's either false or it's true. He couldn't denounce the KKK. That was a big problem because New York City is made of different. It's very. You know how many has that are black? You know how many different awards he got when he was black? Because all the people were black. That doesn't mean nothing though. That doesn't mean nothing. When you say denounce the KKK, did you see the entire tape? They asked him. They spoke to him. He saw a media clip. Yeah, he went around the question. A media clip. Yeah. So that media clip sold you, and that's what's in your head. Nothing else is in your head except for the media clip that sold you. So you're making decisions off of a media clip that sold you a bill of goods, and you still don't want to believe it because, again, do you think that Kanye West and Kim Kardashian were stupid? Are they wrong? Is Kim Kardashian a moron?
No.
Did she think that he was a KKK? Do you think Kanye West thought that was the same thing? But there's no answer for that, right?
But Kanye has a little Kanye.
He's not even called Kanye West anymore. Now he's just Ye, or at least he wants to be called Ye. But
you gotta use somebody else besides Kanye.
But the point of the matter is they don't believe the truth till it smacks you in the face with truth. When your friends realize that, man, who messed up the progressives is when you believe this is the truth. Until then, you don't believe the truth. And that's unfortunate because we're just putting it hook, line, and sinker, never believe the truth. We're always believing the lie. We want to believe the lie. We want to be a victim. We want to get things for free for some reason. We think it's easier. But guess what? It ends up being detrimentally more difficult and harder for us perpetually. Guess who freed the slaves back in 1860?
Abraham.
And guess who he was? He was a Donald Trump-like person. He was a Daby-like person. Guess what? We're all enslaved. We're all in servitude right now. We don't think so. And guess who's doing it? Who's putting us in slavery right now? Who's keeping us in poverty right now? Who's elected right now? Who's been elected right now? You got to wake up. You got to help these. When you send this video, you got to make sure people watch it in full. Because when they don't watch it in full, they pick and pull little clips and they say, hey, I don't know, man. I'm just going to watch the little bit of clips and think I know the answer. I'm just going to look at the highlight reel and think I know what the hell I'm talking about. That doesn't help you. It hurts you. It keeps you consistently wrong. And that's the problem. There is not even 50 of the 51 council members. Less than 5. 3. 1, 2, 3.
Nah, I didn't know that. I just found out today. I didn't know
Please
that.
look it up.
So, being a Republican in New York City, how do you expect to get the vote of other parties?
Because it's not a red issue and it's not a blue issue. It's a corruption issue. They're corrupt. So I don't care about these other things. It's corruption. Corruption is the problem. Even if we had everything funded the exact same way, but we get rid of the corruption, meaning we bring accountability, we do it better. We do it substantially better. Substantially better.
So do you think it's easy to get rid of corruption?
Do I what?
Do you think it's easy to get rid of corruption that's been in place for years?
You have to be brave. You have to be bold. You have to go to it face on, because you know what? Corruption doesn't want to stop being corrupt. They love making money. Think about it. How long was it that people were selling drugs back and forth before they made it somewhat legal over here? For a long period of time. Guess what? It's slowly going down now because they made it a little bit more legal. But guess what happened? Now even more corruption in a different kind of way came about. Black markets will always exist. The way to remove the most amount of black markets is to bring things to the light by bringing accountability to the picture. That's what's important. It's not a red issue. It's not a Republican issue. It's not a Democrat issue. It's not a red issue. It's not a blue issue. It's a corruption issue. They are stealing from us. They, the political leaders, are stealing from us, and we never hold them accountable. There's 51 city council members. 3 are Republicans. 2 are from little old Staten Island.
I didn't know that.
Look it up. Please tell your audience. Let people understand who is abusing you. The progressives are abusing you.
And I see you fighting for rent, like stabilization, to maintain it.
That's my building.
How do you expect to do that?
It's about corruption. See, here's the thing. When people know that there's a slush fund because they're only auditing one time out of every 4 years, almost 5 years, but one time out of 4 years, money goes unaccountable year after year after year after year after year. In Wall Street, what do? We do our books 4 times a year, every quarter. We do our earnings. We do our accountability. We do our audit. Hey, did this business do it right? Nope. Bye-bye. And then the entire world knows Hey, what happened? 4 times a year, we do our accountability. We check the paperwork 4 times a year. In New York City, we check it 1 time a year every 4 years. 1 time every 4 years.
That's
so
crazy.
year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. We haven't checked it since 2017 as opposed to one we just recently left because election is happening. It's not crazy. That's what's happening. But yet, we keep on blaming the boogeyman instead of the progressives who are abusing us. They are absolutely abusing us. There was a program called Thrive NYC, which Bill de Blasio got from Scott Stringer, the guy whose office I'm going to take over. $850 million given to really as a stopgap measure for housing and homelessness and mental issues, really mental issues. That's really what it was. Guess what? That money's gone. No one knows where that money is. It's unaccountable. It's unaccounted for. Over $1 billion now.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Give the mayor's wife, who is in charge of the program. The mayor's wife, Charlene, in charge of Thrive, THRIVE, Thrive NYC, lost our money. It's unaccounted for. That's the mayor's wife. Got $1 billion in her back pocket. And what happened? New York City got that. Nothing. They're stealing from us, yet we never blame them. Finally, we're starting to blame Bill de Blasio, but that's the only person we're blaming. It's all of them. All of those progressives, they're all together. They've colluded together, and they think that we are really dumb. And you know what? They might be right, because we keep on making the exact same mistakes and never paying attention. We had a whole war, a civil war about it. Why? Because Republicans said we got to get people to be free. And you know what? They killed Abraham Lincoln because he did that. I don't think they're going to kill me. You know what? Here's the thing. People don't like me very much because they don't get it. They don't understand who's doing that. They don't get it.
Now, I respect
There are so many Black and Hispanic Republicans because they finally have become awoke. Guess what Joe Biden just recently did? He suspended unemployment benefits for people here in New York. You know that, right? So what does that mean? That means people have to get a job. They have to get a job, or they're going to have to get more welfare. And guess what? What's going to put people out of poverty? More welfare or getting a job, a local job? Now people don't have the skills to really understand that. We have to start at the very bottom. We keep on pushing ourselves down. We never blame the person who's actually abusing us. When are we going to do that? When are we going to wake up and realize, you know what? If the stove is hot, I shouldn't touch it. If these guys we keep on voting for and they don't help me, I shouldn't vote for them. But instead, we watch television, and the television tells us some other junk that sounds beautiful, and it sounds like tear rolling down my cheek, and then we forget all about our plates, and we make the exact same mistake again and again. Well, guess what? I'm an Afro-Latino. Maybe people will listen to me at least a little bit, because I live in a rent-stabilized building. I'm Black, I'm white, I'm Hispanic. I'm right here, 123rd and Lex.
No, that's what drove me towards you, because of who you are as a person.
So I have the job of actually explaining this, and hopefully I can, like I said before, smack you upside the head with a 2x4 so you listen and realize I'm telling you the truth, that the people who are doing it to you are the people who are not in power, are the people who are in power, and not the people who are not in power. The people not in power can't do anything to you. They can't hurt you.
Now, I didn't know the mayor's wife messed that money up. I had no idea.
I know, now you know, because I'm not going to let you watch television thinking that it's telling you the truth, because they're not telling you the truth. They're lying to you. They're capping.
Interesting.
They're straight capping. Capping.
Can I ask you a question?
Please. I don't mean to be offensive. I just need to be a matter of fact, because it's so important to me.
I appreciate the conversation. You're giving me a lot of intel. How are you going to improve the public schools? Because I've seen that's what you're fighting for, to improve public schools. May I ask how you willing to do that? Are you trying to put better computers, more computers in the schools, more?
Please pay attention to what I'm saying. I'm going to bring $3.5 trillion to New York City, okay? Because New York City is not getting any more than $16 billion, 16B, or 3.5T. You tell me which one you want.
Now,
You want Wall Street
3.5 T, but how you gonna acquire that money? Like, I understand you said.
Go where the money is. I'm going to Robin Hood that money and bring it here because I'm from Wall Street. I'm going to go where the money is. I'm going to take it and I'm going to bring it right here to New York City. The Democrat progressives cannot do any more than $16 billion, which can't even pay for 3/4 of the year at our going rate.
Now,
so who do you want? Who do you want? Do you want somebody who's got 2/4 in the pocket or got $3 to give you?
No, that's a big thing that you worked at Wall Street, so you know the money game too, and you know where to.
I'm going to put the most money in people's lives. The most.
We're going to hold you to that too. We're going to hold you to that too.
The most money in people's lives. The most money in people's lives. Because the progressives do not do that. If they did, we wouldn't have homeless like we would have. We wouldn't have these horrible issues with housing like we would have. We wouldn't have the plight in education we would have. We wouldn't have the garbage we would have. What's going on?
So where do you think the money's going?
The wrong way.
So where's the money going?
The people who are abusing us are right in front of us. And we keep on giving them the bat to keep on abusing us. How long are we going to let them abuse us until we are dead? Is that what we had to do? In fact, in a lot of cases, that's what they did. They killed us because the cost got so high. What did Cuomo do? He co-located people because there was too many people that had to be taken care of, all the benefits. So we killed off 55,400 people. That's what Cuomo did. That's what he did. By co-locating sick people. By doing the exact same, putting us all in one bunch. That's what happens. That's what rezoning is. That's what gentrification is. It's moving us all around, but yet we're not paying attention because you're not listening to a Daby. Instead, you're seeing Daby, you see the R next to my name and say, I don't want to listen to you. Every single person who has a Republican, I don't want to listen to you. Meanwhile, we have the right answer.
But
I don't want to listen to you.
Where is that money going? The money that the mayor's wife lost, like where is it going? Where is it disappearing to?
How do you think these politicians got so wealthy?
Nah, that's what we all think, but we don't want to, like, it's hard to believe that they really do that.
How do you think they got so wealthy?
That's what we all believe.
How is it hard to believe?
It's hard to believe that they really do that.
Money goes someplace.
I have people that work for the hospital. I have people that work for the hospital. They're in a union and they.
You think they're gonna tell you? You think they're gonna tell you that they're stealing? Does a grind robber tell you that they rob money?
No.
Does a politician tell you that they're a multimillionaire off
No.
of a salary of like 100,000 or 200,000? Nancy Pelosi's worth multi-millions of dollars. I think even worth more than that. Do they tell you? Do they tell you that they're stealing? No. They just hide in the paperwork. Why? Because you never read the. And look at the.
You're breaking up a little bit.
And you never paperwork. Like a Wall Street broker looks at the paperwork and sees what's really happening. The truth. The actual documents, where the money doesn't just vanish. It goes from here to there. We'll find where there is. Read it. I can tell you. And you're going to find in all the pockets of all the politicians that you've ever known and probably voted for over and over and over again throughout the country. That's the truth.
Wow. So you go.
They make government really, really big so you can't see the corruption. There's two ways to end corruption. There's two ways to end corruption. Either you make the government really, really small, where we all have personal responsibility, we're all actually working for ourselves and making money, or you do what they're doing and make government so big that everything is corrupt and they say, oh, there's no corruption. And that's what you're believing. That's what a lot of people believe in. You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. And that's what's happening. Consistently, you gotta believe it. You gotta look it up. You gotta actually do the research instead of just watching the television because the TV is lying to you. There's no interest in telling you the truth. They're straight capping. They're lying to you because they have all the benefits. When lying to you, they make all the money. How do you think they got so wealthy? Because they lied to you and you believe it every single time. They got you believing the Republicans are the ones who are the enemy. That's not the case. The Republicans are the ones who free slavery, who actually bring people to salvation, to fix things. That's what I'm about. I'm the Republican that you're understanding. Thank God that I'm a Black Latino that you're actually going to listen, because otherwise, many times people won't listen. I have the big problem. My problem is I have to break through and crack these skulls and crack the eggs to understand that, hey, wait a second. This guy is the real deal. This guy is going to tell me the real shit. So immediately they want to block me from the internet, block me for this, call me a liar, I'm a this, I'm a that. Why?
Now, I like what you're saying right now.
Just what happens when we realize what really happened during the election, and how much fraud and flaws that came across, and how many different things, because you're not getting that on television, my man. You never heard the phrase, the revolution will not be televised? Well, you're right. It still won't be televised. The revolution will not be televised. What will be televised is the capping. The capping, the talking, the bullshit will be televised. And you're going to believe it every single time, because they got you good. You think it's good? You think it makes sense that soda bottles are $2 and salad is $10? That we eat unhealthy? And that's supposed to be okay for us with FDA? Why aren't they mandating going to the gym or mandating taking the masks off because it's a respiratory disease that's formed from this virus? So you need to get clear lungs and get air. But yet they tell mask in, stay inside. That's exactly opposite.
No. I'm against people not wearing a mask though, because I know a lot of people that passed from COVID, and I feel like what they said, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. I'm against that because you're just spreading it anyway. So
again, a person who's inoculated, because there's no FDA approval yet, okay, that you're getting. The FDA approval is not in the United States, in Europe, okay? We're still getting the emergency use only drug, which you can't sue. If you got a shot, you can't sue anybody. The one that's FDA approved is not existent in the United States. It's in Europe.
Really?
You're not reading it. You're just watching the television. I'm reading it. I'm telling you the truth.
I had no idea of that. So the shot that they give
I know.
right now, if something goes wrong.
Because they're trying to convince people it's FDA approved when it's not. It's similar. It's called Comirnaty. Comirnaty is that drug that is not labeled, and it doesn't even exist in the United States. It's in Europe, in a lab. There.
So you mean to tell me?
So now it's not FDA approved.
So you mean to tell me?
These
vaccines that the government is pushing on us, is if something goes wrong,
is not FDA approved.
Nobody can sue them. Nothing.
No one can sue them because they're not receiving the drug that is FDA approved.
So all they gonna do is say sorry. Like if something goes wrong,
they don't have to say that. They could say, "Go, you're using an experimental drug."
Wow. I'm not vaccinated,
the government is lying to you. The media is lying to you. You're not paying attention. You're not reading the fine print. They're lying to you. They're capping. I'm here to tell you the truth. Please research it. See that that's not actually approved. Don't just watch the television and think that you're informed, because you're not. And your public that you're going to share it with, they will not be informed either until they realize I'm telling you the truth.
Nah, you're very informative. You're telling the people that watch my channel a lot right now.
I hope thousands upon millions watch your channel.
Man.
Because I'm telling you the truth.
Nah, you telling me a lot right now. I had no idea that the vaccine they're giving people is not FDA approved.
It's not a vaccination unless it's FDA approved. That's why it's an inoculation.
So like you said, it's an experimental drug.
100%. Everyone's getting experimental drug to this very second.
And they pushing people to get it too. That's so sad. They pushing people to get it.
Businesses are pushing people to get it because the government mandated the businesses, not the people. If the government mandated people, that'd be called fascism. Instead, the government is mandating the businesses, which is socialism, because it's government control of production and leaving the people and the businesses to be blamed. So when the businesses fall under, you say, oh, it's because these businesses are so wealthy, these 1% caused these people to die. It's ludicrous. Why aren't we paying attention to the fact no one reads it?
Wow.
Media. media lies to you every single day with a smile on their face because they get a lot of money.
Well, I had no idea. You
got a lot of homework
right
to do,
now
man.
with a lot of information. Thank you
got
for
a lot of homework
the show, man.
Sanctuary cities has caused our city to die because it pushes business out. They don't want business because what happens when business happens? People become independent. When you become independent, you don't need the government anymore. You don't need the government when you're independent. And that's exactly what was happening with our health. When was the last time that you needed to go take a physical? Probably many years ago. But guess what? Now the government made an issue with these inoculations. So now we're getting more and more sick. We're going to see. Now you're going to need the government and doctors more. Why? Because you're going to get more and more sick. It's insidious.
Yeah, it is.
And we don't realize what's happening. It's like I could be yelling, and people won't listen because they got the R next to me, and because they did such a good job teaching people that Republicans are bad. They're lying to your face, collecting a paycheck and laughing at us. Straight laughing at us.
Interesting, man.
Straight laughing.
You got me looking at a different perspective, I'll tell you that. You got me looking at it.
You have a lot of homework. You got about 4 or 5 hours of homework tonight to go to do some research on stuff. When you watch his tape again, you're like, man, he went deep in that too. I told you about the relief. I told you about stimulus. I told you about PPP. I told you about President Trump bailed out people. Obama bailed out businesses. That's what he did. He bailed out all the banks, all the mortgage banks. People didn't get a paycheck. What'd they get? They got nothing. They got foreclosed on. They got their credit destroyed. Why? Because it keeps people in perpetual need when their credit's destroyed. Keep people in need. They always keep on coming back. You know, you teach a man to fish. It's what Republicans do. What do Democrats do? They feed the man the fish. They never give anything else, everything else. That's what they do. Sí, está bien.
Hey, you speak that Spanish. Before we get out of here, Daby, I want to ask you one question. You know, they say a lot of politicians, their dream is become president of the United States. Is that a goal of yours?
I never thought about it before. People say that to me every single day, literally every single day. I never even thought about being mayor or anything else. I never even thought about being comptroller up until, seeing how horrible Bill de Blasio has been doing since he got elected in 2014. I never thought about it. But in 2016, when it was the next election, I said, you know what? I'm going to do something about it. And I ran for assembly right here in my neighborhood. I lost miserably in 2016. 2017, I ran again for city council, a bigger race. I lost miserably again. Again, I ran again in 2019. In 2018, the year after that, for assembly again, because it's every 2 years. I lost miserably in assembly here. Then I ran again in 2020. Again, assembly, lost miserably. So I lost in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2020. I'm running right now, 2021, and I'm running for a bigger office than the smaller offices in East Harlem, and I'm gonna win.
And I see
just like Abraham Lincoln did before. He ran and lost because he ran for small elections. And he ran for the big election, he won. Because guess what? That's what needs to happen. We need to have somebody like myself who's not gonna put up with the bullshit. He's gonna tell people what it is. And finally, because I'm an Afro-Latino, people are gonna actually listen to me for a little bit. I actually have an opportunity to get past the R behind my name, and people can actually say, yo, let me just listen to this brother, because even though he's a Republican, maybe he's got something here. And now you're listening to me. Thank God, because you would have never, until today, you might, maybe not even today, maybe you're talking, and maybe you don't look at it. Hopefully you do, and you see that I'm telling you the truth. And you're gonna be perplexed to see who's actually running the story. Because that's what has to happen. No one's reading it. We're getting all our information from social media, which is propaganda, which doesn't have any interest in telling us the truth. They just have interest in selling papers.
Listen, I love everything you're telling me. And I hope you get position. I hope you live to everything you say you're going to do. Holding these people accountable and bring the money to the city. I hope that's what you're doing.
My entire life in business. If I didn't do it, if I wasn't accountability, people wouldn't keep me in business. I wouldn't be in Wall Street for over 15 years. I wouldn't be in business for over 20 years. If I wasn't accountable, you wouldn't have a business. I don't get a salary. This is not a salary job. This is not a salary. It's fishing. It's hunting. You teach a man to fish is what I do. I'm fishing every single day. If I'm not fishing, I'm not eating. If I'm not helping, which is commensurate to my performance. If I'm not helping people, if I'm not helping my clients, they're not keeping me. They're not keeping me. But in the other world, there's no interest. They keep people no matter what, because once you're in the system, you're good. They don't care. They just want to keep the budget moving, keep the money up higher, so there's more money to take from. And easier to steal, more money to take from. And
that's what's good about you too. You're not a politician. You're from Wall Street. You're from Wall Street. So that's
it.
That's good.
I'm gonna give you the no bullshit shit. That's it. I don't care. You need to know, because we're being lied to. We're dying in the streets right now. How long are we gonna keep on falling off the cliff until someone says, hey, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't push my brother off the cliff because I'm next to get pushed up by my brother behind me. That's what's happening here. For decades. For decades. Why? Because there wasn't a black Republican, an Afro-Latino Republican who actually says, you know what? I don't care how much you call me a liar and say I'm this or say I'm that, because you know what? I don't care. I'm from Wall Street. I get cursed out every single day. You think those words are going to affect me? You think I don't care about your feelings about how you think about me? I'm going to get the job fucking done. That's it. That's it. $265 billion is what I start off with. I'm going to parlay that and take the other money from the country and put it right into the city. And that's going to bring everyone back to New York who's left New York because of the problem. They left New York because they couldn't figure out how to answer the problem. They gave up. They quit. They couldn't figure out. They said, I can't beat them.
Hope you can figure out that problem.
I know it. I see it. I read it. I read the paperwork. I follow the money. I know where it went to. And it went to Bill de Blasio's wife and other progressives in their pockets. That's what happened.
So what happens when you hold these people accountable? They just...
They'll probably go to jail, or they'll leave office immediately. They'll resign. They don't want to go to jail, like Governor Cuomo. He didn't want to go to jail, so he resigned.
Interesting. Yeah, I really hope you get the position. I really hope you do everything you say you are gonna do, because the city needs it. The city don't need a politician. They need exactly somebody like you.
Banker. They need a business person who don't give a shit about what a person's feelings are. We care about the facts.
Facts. And
that's what it is.
And you're Wall Street polished. So I like the way you know about money. You break it up though.
And I love my culture. I love my food. I love my people. I'm dying because people don't want to listen to it. So I have to bring a bigger mouthpiece by running for the biggest office I can possibly do to change this right now. I have to affect change because it's not working for people. Doing the exact same shit hurts us every single time. Got people killed. Got more homeless than we've ever had before. It's exploding. No one can get money into the city except for me. There's no other way we're going to get money. Where's the money going to come from? New York can't print money. Only the United States can print money.
We need Robin Hood.
Robin Hood. I'm going to Robin Hood that money and bring it right to New York. I'm the only person who's licensed to do that. No one else can. The three people I'm running against. One is a conservative. That's the person you probably would not like. It's the guy who's on the far left, far right. You probably don't agree with. I probably don't agree with a lot of things that they say. Then you got the next guy who used to be a banker like me, a broker like me. And guess what? He got kicked out of the city of the industry because he stole from people. You can look him up online. You can see his information, his background check. He got fined $50,000, and he's the living Bernie Madoff. $50,000. He stole 11 times from previous clients. $50,000, and he's running to manage your money. He thinks he's got a great shot because he's a criminal already.
I'm mad they let him do it, though.
Progressive who has the exact same answers as before, who can't bring any more than $16 billion. It's disgusting.
Well, on everything you say right now, I hope you tackle every situation, every problem just like that. You hold these people accountable, and you knock all the corruption out of the city. I hope you could do that. I really hope.
And everyone who's watching yourself, George, I hope they'll all go to my website, Vote Daby, VOTEDABY, VoteDaby.com, or Daby Carreras, DABYCARRERAS, Daby Carreras. Just type in, if you're in New York, just type in Daby, DABY in Google or Bing or DuckDuckGo, and you'll find me, Daby, Delta Alpha Bravo Yankee, Daby. Vote Daby.
Go vote for Daby. He's not a politician. He's from Wall Street. He's polished, different. He lives in Harlem. And you heard him today. He's breaking it out. He's not scared to talk about nothing. He's letting it all out.
123rd and Lex.
You got my respect. And you made me think about a lot today. You made me think about a lot. I'm going to do some research, though, to make sure everything you were saying is true. But
you're gonna find it, and your wig is gonna pull back, and you realize how true I'm telling you.
Well, thank you for stopping by the show, Daby.
You're welcome,
keep in touch, brother. I live in New York too, so keep in touch.
I love it. I'm always here. I'll see you.